So, long time no see, but today we're gonna have a little bit of a different setup. I'm way bigger than I normally am. I kind of thought that maybe it is better like that. I don't know if it is. Tell me if it is. But we're gonna go ahead with A Force for Good. And the Dalai Lama's vision for our world. Very interesting book by the 14th Dalai Lama and also Daniel Goleman. Both authored this book, even though, I mean, if you have a look at this book cover, then Daniel Goleman is way bigger than any, well, actually, I think it is authored by Daniel Goleman, but yeah, I mean, the Dalai Lama kind of co-authored it and or is subject in the book, and I mean, the whole book is about him. And yeah, maybe I think that Daniel Goleman has written it, but maybe there were some kind of contract issues and whatnot with not having the Dalai Lama as an author. I don't even know if he is considered to be the author of this anyway. Anyway, can't I zoom in? Yeah, have it a bit bigger. I don't actually know where I've stopped the last time, but I think positive statements and individual friendships are powerful solutions for conflict. An obsession with profit and our tendency to block out guilt has placed our planet under threat. Yeah, I think that I've stopped with summary part 9, and this is also what we're gonna go ahead with. So, positive statements and individual friendships are powerful solutions for conflict. I always have a feeling that I'm way more to the right than I am to the left, but I'm actually not quite. Anyway, even the Dalai Lama concedes that humans will always create conflict, clashes of ideas or only natural. In order to cope with such clashes, good communication and mutual understanding are vital. In fact, it's easier to create a healthy dialogue than you think. There are a handful of basic moves that you can turn to during a confrontation with another. The first is as simple as saying something positive about the other person and something positive about yourself. We already went through that, but it is amazing. So it is all about, so the whole catch is somebody saying to Mike Tyson, who was about to beat up somebody, Naomi Campbell, and he said, don't you know who, he said, so Mike Tyson said, I am Mike Tyson, I'm the heavyweight champion and whatnot. And he said, I am the former Wacom professor of logic. We are both preeminent men in our field. I suggest we talk about this like rational men, saying, okay, we both are fucking amazing, so let's just handle this in a different way. Which is kind of a saying, well, not kind of, but it is, or he is saying, well, you are amazing, I'm amazing, let's do it in a different way, But saying something positive about the other person that you are in conflict with, and or you're seeing is in a conflict with somebody else. So yeah, 11 actually. When things seem dire, consider the situation from a long-term perspective. Though the current global situation can often seem quite dire, whatever, we've got a lot to be thankful for. It is all a matter of perspective. Think about it. In the past, when nations declared war, citizens would probably join in the violence. These days, people are fed up with the glorification of war, and strong movements for peace have shaken the political foundations of countries around the world. Looking at things in the long term can help us stay optimistic, even when the present seems overwhelmingly grim. The late Karl Friedrich von Weizsäcker, a German philosopher and the Dalai Lama's tutor in quantum physics, I didn't even know that the Dalai Lama got tutored in quantum physics. Anyway, recalls how the German and French were once bitter enemies. Yet within von Weizsäcker's lifetime, Charles de Gaulle, or whatever, who had led the French army against the Nazis, became close friends with the German Chancellor Konrad Adenauer. The two leaders joined forces to support the formation of the European Union. De Gaulle, whatever, and Adenauer's actions resulted in a positive change in Europe that would have been unimaginable during the Second World War. Yes, I mean, definitely. If you think about having a union and everybody being in one thing and whatnot, no, nobody would have been able to imagine that. especially, during war. How the fuck could you imagine that? Anyway, today, peaceful relations between certain countries at war seem equally unimaginable, especially when we watch the news. Of course, the function of mass media is to inform us about current problems and threats. This can give us the impression that compassion among humans has long since disappeared, and that the cruelty will only escalate as each new day brings another round of frightening headlines. But we must remember that on a given day, the amount of kindness in the world vastly exceeds the incidence of cruelty. We just rarely hear about the positive sides of things. What if more positive news was spread? Perhaps then we would see that kindness, not cruelty, is at the heart of human interaction and would act accordingly. There's definitely quite a bit of articles around the fact that, negative media is more quote-unquote popular than positive media, if you will, and so on and so forth. There's a multitude of articles around that, so it's not quite surprising, and it's definitely not surprising me. And it is something that we all know about, but as I'm thinking about it, it just also doesn't make any sense. Why is negativity so widely spread? In terms of why do people seek the negative things? This is the only reason why media is publishing them or distributing them, just because we want to hear them and we want to see that and we read that and we click on that and so on and so forth. But yeah, let me do something. Let me make that a bit smaller in the middle. Make that a bit smaller as well. Well, even though I could just have it so big, this is okay, I guess. I feel like that it is better when I'm just not that big and you can see more me as well. But yeah, just a thought. Summary part 12, the power of change lies with individuals regardless of their situation. And this is actually also the last bit of the summary, so enjoy. Being able to maintain a positive attitude is vital, as is the ability to act on it and persist. Rather than simply talking about creating change, we've got to just do it. I hope I'm not going to get fucked for saying that, in terms of copyright issues. The Reverend Bill Cruz runs a range of humanitarian projects in Sydney, Australia, from soup kitchens to homeless shelters and free health clinics, or even providing reading tutors for underprivileged school children. When the Dalai Lama visited, even, he put on an apron over his monk's robes and joined Bill Cruz while serving food. And that's what each and every one of us needs to do. Get involved. It doesn't matter who you are, where you are from, where you are, or what means you have. We all have the potential to take action. The Dalai Lama firmly believes that the power to create change lies far more in the hands of individuals than in the hands of organizations, governments, or dictators, which, by the way, are also led by a group of people. It's not like this is some big ass thing. They have a lot of money and they have a lot of people, but still, it is people in the end. So it does make sense, quote unquote, or it's about people. Yeah, this is what I want to say. No matter how comprehensive a set of top-down changes may be, you simply can't force people to be compassionate. So don't wait for society to change yourself and provide an example for others. And you're probably, by changing yourself and by being a certain type of person, you are probably as well gonna make certain people come to you, and you're gonna attract, that's the word that I'm searching for, you're gonna attract certain people, and you're probably gonna attract certain people that are like you, kind and compassionate and empathetic and all so on, But on the other hand, when you're a negative piece of shit, then, well, guess what? And guess whom you're gonna attract, and what people are gonna seek you out and are willing to be with you and whatnot. This is, probably also one of the reasons why people that, take drugs and drink a lot and have a certain lifestyle often have friends that do have a similar lifestyle, whether it is about sports, whether it is about getting drunk all day long. When it is about something else, I don't know, I don't give a fuck. But just makes sense. So how can you start? It depends on you. As the Dalai Lama says, everyone can find a context where they make a difference, or they can make a difference. The human community is nothing but individuals combined, which basically is what I meant. In review, a force for good book summary, the key message in this book. In a world of rampant cruelty and suffering, it's time to make a change, and it all starts with you. The power for change lies with individuals and their ability to shift away from self-interest and negativity and toward compassion and positive action. So, actionable advice: breathe deeply to eliminate fear and anxiety. Next time you need to calm down, try this. Take a deep breath, filling your lungs, hold it in for 2 or 3 seconds and then let the air out slowly. Take 5 to 10 deep breaths this way. If you need help focusing fully on your breathing, you can think of mental cues like in while inhaling and out while exhaling, and like imagining the words and also just saying it in your head and whatnot. Or imagine tension draining from your body as you exhale, which by the way is the one that I'm doing. When I'm meditating and I'm focusing on my breath, then I feel like that I'm creating a certain tension and I'm creating the relief of this tension when I'm breathing out. Therefore, and when I'm breathing in, I feel like that there is something going on my body. It kind of feels warmer, and I think it is just only due to my imagination, not really kind of a real deal thing, But yeah, anyway, this is the book summary, or this was the book summary. I think very interesting book, and I'm looking forward to going through more books and also reading more books in my private time or my spare time or leisure time or whatever you want to call it, because I think in a world where we are able and capable of doing so many things and so many different things, are able to use our time in so many diverse ways, reading a book is probably going to be one of the smartest things to do when you don't know what to do with your time and when you've already worked enough and whatnot. So for me, it is kind of, what can I do in my leisure time for relaxing, and kind of also, thinking about something different. At this point in time, I'm heavily thinking about certain types of things, and it kind of feels like, well, it would be good to think about something different from time to time as well, and being able to focus on something different from time to time. But yeah, gonna see you the next time. Bye, and thank you a lot. Stay safe and calm and nice and compassionate and empathetic. Bye.